Tonight, QPD held its final beat meeting of the year. Residents from beats 1 and 6 came out to voice concerns and meet officers who patrol their areas. Residents got the chance to speak out about squatters and nearby abandoned properties, concerns over drivers speeding down residential roads, and the future of e-bikes and e-scooters. Chief Adam Yates took a moment to address those in attendance about taking full advantage of the preventative services the fire department has to offer as well.
You know, they have had several fires over the last several days, and it is important that people have working smoke detectors in their house. And a lot of people don't know that the fire department has a smoke detector program that they will come out and install smoke detectors for anybody that needs one. So if there is someone that's in need and could use that service from the fire department, certainly recommend they reach out to them.
And Fire Chief Steve Sauerland says the smoke detector program is not income-based and is free to all.